Hi, welcome to Debbie Lash Yoga. I'm your yoga teacher for today. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and leave feedback. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the class. Today is a level 2-3 class. If you've got a strap, now's a good time to go and get one, but a hand towel or a tea towel or a scarf, whatever you've got in your house is a great alternative if you don't actually have a yoga strap. You might not need it, but it's always good to have it available, especially today because we're focusing on binding. I've had a few requests from some of you. So I'd like to think of this as like a level 2-3 class. With the option to bind. If binding is something that you're not into, then feel free to skip and just leave it out. Okay, we're going to open with some Nadi Shona, which is alternate nostril breathing. It helps balance the left and right side of the brain, the masculine and the feminine energy, and is another form. It's of pranayama, breath work, but actually another form of meditation. So sit up nice and tall. I'm actually sitting on a block. You could sit on a pillow or a blanket. Make sure your legs are crossed at the shins. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears and just gently close your eyes down. Take a moment to land and arrive on your mat. And just take a moment to observe how you feel physically, energetically, and mentally. Just observe your breath and just notice it as it enters the body on the inhale and as it leaves the body on the exhale. Bring the hands together at prayer, bowing the chin to the chest. Inhale, take the prayer to the third eye in between your eyebrows. And inhale here. Open the mouth, exhale. Release your left hand down on your thigh and bring the right hand alongside the face. Taking your peace fingers and you're gently going to bend them down. Thumb comes to the right nostril, ring finger to the left. Just have the fingers hovering at the bridge of the nose and inhale through both nostrils. Close off the right nostril, exhale through the left. Lips are closed. Inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Pause and switch, exhale left. That's one full round. We've got 4 more rounds. Inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Pause and switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Pause and switch. Inhale right. Pause and switch. Inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Pause and switch, exhale left. One last cycle, inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Pause and switch, exhale left. Hands at heart center, chin to chest. If you'd like to bring an intention or even a dedication to the practice, and if you don't know what to dedicate or what your intention is, I always begin with asking that my body is open and my mind is clear. And you can add anything to that. Inhale, gently open the eyes. Lift the gaze. Let's get started. Lying all the way down on our belly. Move any props to the sides. And lying all the way down. And take the arms into T-shape, forehead on the floor. Take 3 cycles of breath here. Just release the body fully into the mat. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And 2 more rounds. Just go at your own pace. And just notice everything that's touching the ground. So forehead, ribs, your front ribs, hips, pubic bone, thighs, tops of feet, knees. And on your next inhale, just have a look. Make sure your wrists are in line with your shoulders and spread your fingers and press your palms and your knuckles into the floor. Inhale, you're going to walk the left hand back towards your face, and exhale, you're going to roll onto your right shoulder and pause. The hips are stacked. Place your head on the floor. Now, if it's hard to get the head down, maybe grab a block, a blanket, a pillow, and place it underneath the side of the face. Inhale, we're going to lift the top leg, bend the knee, and then just step the foot behind. Good. Exhale here. Now you can keep the left hand exactly where it is. Spread the fingers of your right hand. And now the option, you can either tiptoe the left hand up and over. And this feels like a good stretch on my left shoulder as well. But if you're looking for something deeper, you can float the left arm up. Inhale. Rotate the palm back. So there's a lot of this rotation in our shoulder today. Like you're looking for a high five, and then just gently drop that hand down. It feels like you would like to clasp your hands together, even though it actually won't happen here. And some of you, if you're looking for a little bit more in the hip, a deeper stretch, you're going to extend that top leg straight and then shift that leg up and back, and you're going to feel that. So just go back as far as you need, but make sure it's sustainable. You might decide, even if you try that, you're going to bring the foot back down. I'm just going to stay here. Let's stay for 5 cycles of breath. Just opening the shoulders. Could feel pretty sticky. And remember, if there's any sharp pain or something doesn't feel good in the body, you're going to come out of the pose. If you're ready for Ujjayi breath, that soft whisper in the back of the throat, then away you go. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, bring it alongside the face. Inhale, extend the left leg, stack the feet together, and then rolling all the way back onto the front body. Okay, other side again. Just have a look at your left shoulder. You're going to have my back towards you, and walk the right hand in towards the face. We're going to roll over, pause here. Inhale, float the right leg up. Bend the knee, step the foot behind. Option 1, tiptoe the right fingertips all the way up and pause there. And option 2 for the arms, rotate the palm back and then just use gravity. Gravity is your best friend here. And option 3 with the leg. So point, extend, and then shift it all the way back. 5 cycles of breath. I'm just going to bring my foot back on the floor because I did that on the first side. Consciously breathing, Ujjayi, that soft whisper in the back of the throat is heating the belly from the inside out. But it's also where we listen and learn. Listen to where the breath falls away and where the mind wakes up. And often the breath gets a little choppy, as it probably will today. And inhale, top arm up. Exhale, hand alongside the face. Extend the right leg to straight. Inner ankles touch. Rolling back onto the body. Good, we're going to come up into Sphinx pose. And elbows underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the chest. Walk the feet towards each other, the inner ankles. Now spread the toes. Press your toenails, all 10 toenails, into the floor. And now lift your knees and your thighs so they gently lift off the floor. Pressing your pubic bone down, lift the chest. Some of you are going to stay right here because this already feels like a lot. And others are just going to lift up. So we're just stretching and lifting the upper and lower back. Inhale here, lifting your forearms off the floor. Point the toes, lift the knees. And inhale, have a look to the right. And exhale, center. Inhale, look to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Crossing your left hand over to the right, bending the right knee. And just reach back for your right foot and then press the heel down to the buttock. So we're just stretching and warming up the front thigh. Some of you will rotate your hand and your shoulder. So there's a lot of work in the shoulder here. And spin your fingers facing forward. Take your mind's eye into your left foot, point the toe, and lift the knee, lift the thigh. 3 more cycles of breath. And find Sphinx pose. So you're pressing down through that left elbow and forearm and hand to lift your chest up. Shoulders are facing forward. And inhale here. Exhale, release. Other side, crossing the right hand over to the left. Bend the left knee. Inhale, windmill the arm back. Exhale, press the heel. So if you just want to press the heel down, then that's wonderful. Others are going to spin that hand and now look forward. Find that Sphinx pose. Inhale, lift the chest. Press the pubic bone down. 3 cycles of breath here. If you want to close your eyes, just investigate how the pose feels in your body from the inside out. And 1 more cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Forearm plank, pressing down through the forearms. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, lifting up. Good. Have a look back at your feet. We're going to drop both feet over to the right. And inhale here. And exhale here. Lift both heels high. And then we'll drop both heels over to the left. And just move through this. Just go at your own pace. This feels like it's wringing out your waist. But we're going to move into some abdominal work. I like to bring in the abdominal work early in the practice. So when the core is strong, it really helps transform every other pose. That's it, from side to side. And then we're going to pause on the right. Inhale, keep the elbow on the floor in your forearm, peel the left arm up, and then arm up and over. Good, inhale, you're going to stack the feet, lift the top leg up, inhale here, exhale, elbow to knee. 4 more, inhale. Exhale. That's it. 3 more. Keep lifting that bottom hip up and away from the floor. Last one here. And reach. Come back down, forearm plank. Let's stay here. Stay here for 5 cycles of breath. Lift those back ribs up. Find that cat pose. Now kick the heels back. Have a look. Make sure your shoulders are over the elbows. You really want to use sides of the hands, the wrists, the forearms to press down so you lift those bottom ribs up and away from the floor. 1 more cycle of breath. And moving to the other side. Drop both heels to the left. Stack the feet together. Inhale, peel the right arm up. Exhale, arm up and over. Inhale, float the top leg. Exhale, elbow to knee. You got 2 more. Keep lifting that bottom hip up. That's it, last one. And come all the way back down. Lowering all the way back down onto the belly. And now we're going to roll onto our back, finishing off the core. Inhale, take both legs up towards the ceiling, and exhale here. Thumbs underneath the buttock flesh if you're needing a little bit more support. Point the toes. Inhale, slowly lower the legs to the hover. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And then inhale, lower and hover. Exhale here. Now lift the shoulders off the floor. Reach for your fingers to your toes, and now flutter the legs for 10. That's it. Squeezing the muscles to the bone. 5. And last one. Inhale here. Bend the knees, feet on the floor, hands behind the head. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. That's it. 2 more. And we lift up on the exhale, squeezing the air out of the belly. Inhale, lift up, stay up. And then 5 pulses. 5, 2, 1, inhale, lower. Feet cross the legs at the shins. Nice little rock and roll. Lifting up into Navasana pause. 2 more. Last one here. I'm going to lift up, stay up. That's it, pause. Uncross the feet. Some of you, if you want to put your hands on the floor for a bit of support. Some of you are going to bring your arms parallel. Some of you are going to lift up. 5 cycles of breath. And just feel a nice rumbling in the belly. How's the breath getting a little choppy, just like mine? And Ardha Navasana. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 4 more. And 2 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last one here. Cross the legs at the shins and come onto your hands and knees. Cat-cow. Let's spin the fingers back towards the knees. I love this stretch in the wrists. Spread your fingers, press your knuckles down. Just drop the head, make sure the knees are underneath your hips. And inhale, heart lifts, belly drops. Exhale, round. 4 more. Movement to breath. Just go at your own pace, eyes open or closed. Last one here. Exhale, round. Good, spin the fingers back facing the front of the mat. And we're going to keep the tops of the feet on the floor, and we're going to press down. This is another core stabilizer. So press down through the heels of the hands, and now gently lift the knees off the floor. Got that lovely rounding in the back of cat pose. And 5 more cycles of breath. Remember, at any point, if you need to drop the knees to the floor, you can. And when you're ready, start lifting the knees all the way up, straighten the legs, stretching the tops of the toe. Exhale, walk the hands forward, downward facing dog. Stay right here, pedaling through the feet, ironing out any creases from the day, the weekend, wherever you are, what part of the world. Just press it. Heels pressing down. And don't worry if your feet don't touch the floor. It's just heading in that direction. I'm just going to spin around on my mat. You stay where you are. And inhale, come forward into plank. Going to lower halfway down, chaturanga, Ardha Chaturanga. Press back up into plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Just warming up our shoulders. 2 more like this. Inhale. Forward to plank, Ardha Chaturanga. I like to shift my weight forward, squeeze the elbows in, downward facing dog. Last one here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, up and back. Good. Float the right leg straight back, three-legged down dog. Good. Put a bend into the knee. Open up the hip. Have a look at your left ankle. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, lower. Two more. Last one here. And straighten the leg. Hips are squared. Knee to nose round. So here's more core work. Last one. And now hold for 5, 4. Knee to nose. Kick the heel to the buttock. Lift that back heel higher. 1. Look forward, step it through. Drop the back knee down. Pause. Inhale, lift both arms up. And vinyasana. Nice low lunge. Good. I'm going to hook my thumbs together here, squeezing my biceps to the ears. And now inhale, lift up. Lift your fingers to the ceiling. I'm going to lean over to the right. That lovely side body stretch. 3 cycles of breath. Keep hugging the biceps in towards the ears. And make sure your knees over the ankle. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, both hands inside your right foot. And I'm just going to walk my right foot to the right. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, some of you are going to come down all the way down onto your elbows. This feels pretty juicy. And just notice, a lot of us might have that right elbow not quite touching the floor. So if you've got a block on any level, you can bring it underneath the elbows. So if you're feeling really energetic today and you want to step it up, your option is to lift that back knee up. So this is our lizard pose. Good. And now find that cat pose. Press down through your feet and then lift the back ribs. Press through the elbows, the forearms. Again, to lift the front ribs up and away from the floor. And take your mind's eye into the right hip and hug it in. That's it. How's the breath? Some of you might still have the back knee down, and this is juicy too. It's a really deep stretch. 1 more cycle of breath here. And inhale, knee up or down. And let's drop the back knee down, and we're going to come up onto our hands. And again, you can use a block here. Feels really good. Left hand down or no block. Right arm up. Now squeeze your hips into the midline and then sink into the front thigh. Rotate the top arm and there's your half bind. That's it. Look to that back foot. Lift it, press it, and now spin your chest. 3 more cycles of breath wherever you are. And never look at the blocks as like they're a disadvantage. I look at you as an advanced yogi when you feel confident enough to just bring them in, knowing that they're always bringing the floor to meet the hand. Inhale, top arm up. Exhale, hand down. Drop your back. So we're in this runner's lunge. Drop your back heel down. Extended side angle pose, Pasva. So again, a block is going to feel really good here. That's it. Inhale, top arm up. Now squeeze and hug that right hip in. Rotate the palm back. Half bind. Left arm up and over. Now if I was giving you an adjustment, you can even do this yourself. Just press and lift your left shoulder up and away. Start to press the head back, firming the right buttock in, and then squeeze and lift your knee and thigh of your back leg. 1 more cycle of breath. This feels really tasty in my right hip. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the back heel. Inhale, float the right leg straight back. Ardha Chaturanga, 3-legged plank. Exhale. Inhale, up dog. Pause. Stay for a breath. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Left side, float the left leg straight back, 3-legged down dog. Glide forward, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale here. Knee to nose round. Can you touch the knee to the nose? It's always a nice way to see if you're making progress. And stay here for 5. And just look, kick the heel to the buttock. Shift the shoulders beyond the wrists. Lift up, look forward, step it through. Drop the back knee down. So you're going to do the same on the left side that you did on the first right side. Hook the thumbs, but hook them the abnormal way. Squeeze the biceps into your ears. Inhale, lift, and then leaning over to the left. Firm your left knee into the midline. Soften these front ribs in. Notice how the body wants to arch. I want you to hug it in. Activate the back foot by pressing all 5 toenails into the mat. Inhale, lift. Both hands inside the left foot. Walk the left foot to the left if you need that bit more space. I do. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, come down onto the elbows or onto a block. And just notice how it feels one side to the other. And I always encourage people to use their blocks. And some of you are tucking the back toe. You might already be there, lifting that back knee now. Hug the hips in. Squeeze your left knee into the left shoulder. This is where a lot of the work is. There's this tendency for the left knee to splay out, but hug it in. Press the crown of the head forward, and then lift and sharpen that back leg. 2 more cycles of breath. So we'll be visiting this pose later in the practice and taking a full bound lizard pose. And inhale here, drop the back knee down. Inhale, come up onto the hands. So block or no block. I'm just going to use the block because I did on the first side. Inhale, lift. Rotate the palm up and over. And again, back knee lifted or back knee down. You choose. We're all at different levels in our practice, and every day we practice that feels different to what's going on off the mat. How much water we're drinking, how much sleep we get, the food we eat, it all shows up. And 1 more cycle of breath. Inhale, top arm up. Exhale, hand down. I'm going to turn my back towards you. Left hand on the inside. Drop the right heel down. Make sure the knee is over the ankle. Now squeeze and firm your left buttock in. Good. Rotate the top palm. And there's our half bind. Some of you are going to the hip. Some of you might be able to tuck your hand on the inside of that thigh. Notice what's happening with the back of the neck. Where are you looking? Where's your focus? Some of you might want to look up here. Press the head back. Sharpen the back leg by finding the pinky toe of your back foot and then lift the knee and the thigh. 2 more cycles of breath. Inhale, top arm up, hand to the floor. Good, blocks out the way. 3-legged down dog. Ardha Chaturanga, 3-legged plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath here. I like to, quite a lot in my practice, I like to come up onto my fingertips. A, to strengthen the fingers, but B, to stop me dumping so much into my wrists. I see it a lot, and a lot of people complain about pain in their wrists with down dog. So this is a really nice thing to weave into your practice. And come down if you lifted the wrists. Inhale, come high on the tippy toes. Bend the knees and just step 1 foot in front of the other, tiptoeing your feet all the way up to the top of the mat. Fingers on the floor, hands on the shins. Lift up, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Stay right here. Clasp the hands on the sacrum. And you can keep the hands resting there if that feels like enough. You could even grab a strap here. If you would tighten your shoulders, I know a few of you who practice with me will be grabbing the strap. Arms up and over. Have a look at your feet. And now just feel your feet. I like to move around a little bit, but you really want to be pressing through the big toe, actually all 10 toes, but feel the big toe, the little toe, and then shift the weight so you feel the 2 points in the center of the heel. A little nod, yes, in the head, just subtle. A little turn, no, no, no. Roll the inner thighs and then lift your knees and thighs. If the hamstrings are tight, a really nice bend in the knees feels really good. 2 more cycles of breath. There's a lot of opening in the shoulders needed for this class today. And we've got a peak pose of Birds of Paradise, which is, again, it's an option. And inhale, we're going to lift all the way up with a straight back. Exhale, place any straps to the side. And stand at the top of the mat, feet together. Let's move through Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, both arms up, linking movement to breath. Hands to touch, following the hands down to the mat. Inhale, half lift. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Shift the weight forward. Low cobra, lower to the floor. Drag the hands back, squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, lift. Let's do low cobra for 3. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Firming the elbows in. Point the toes, lift the knees. And tuck the toes under. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath here. Have a look at your hands. Forefinger facing straight forward. And yeah, the other fingers are spinning out on a dial. And now press the forefinger thumb into the mat. Inhale, lift your sit bones high. Exhale, press the heels down. Inhale, come high on your tippy toes. Bend the knees, 2 steps to the top. I'm going to do right leg, then left. Half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Press down through feet. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. 2 more rounds on your own. Off you go. Empty the belly of breath. Inhale, half lift. You might be ready to step back. You can stay with low cobra or up dog if you're ready. You count the breath. Keeps you in the meditation of the pose. Maybe you're ready for a big sigh out. Open the mouth, stick out the tongue. That's it. 1 more cycle. Just moving stagnation. Trapped energy. Inhale, high tippy toes. Bend knees. Maybe you're ready to float. Half lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Last round. Inhale, both arms up. And then drawing the energy back into the heart space. Last round. Meet me in downward facing dog. Step back, jump back. Vinyasa. Inhale, float the right leg straight back. Right knee, right elbow, glide forward and just hold. Shoulders beyond the wrist. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Cross it over to the left. Maybe you can touch the elbow. 3-legged dog. Knee to nose round. And step forward. Extended side angle pose. Parsva. Maybe you want your block. Maybe your hand is going to be on the floor. Maybe your forearm is on your thigh. Rotate the wrist and stay right here. I'm going to drop my hand down and 5 cycles of breath wherever you are. Some of you might even be ready for the full bind here. Maybe your shoulders feel really open, but don't worry if they don't. Just stay right where you are. 2 more cycles of breath. Sharpen that back leg. It has a tendency to go soft just because the mind is elsewhere, so just take the mind into that back leg. And you can either keep the half bind or bring your hand on the hip. We're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana from here. So I'm going to grab a block, slide it forward, and float the back leg up. Press down. Have a look, make sure your shoulder is over the wrist. And then I look through the body to make sure I can see the toes of my top foot. That's it. 3 more cycles of breath. Some of you might even float that bottom hand off the floor. Drawing the belly in just subtly. And keep a whisper of a bend in that standing leg. Option, Japasana, kick the heel to the buttock. Now if this is challenging to reach, draw the knee into the chest and grab the ankle. Have a look before you lift up to make sure that your grounded foot hasn't turned. Now kick the foot into the hand. Some of you are going to pick the hand off, float the hand off the block. That's it. 3 more cycles of breath. That's it. Foot to hand, bend in the knee. Lift up in that side waist. And bottom hand down. Float the leg back. Top hand on the hip. Bend the standing knee. Step back into Warrior 2. Inhale here. Now I'm going to straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend. 5 cycles of breath. More shoulder work. Left arm over the right. Eagle arms. Inhale, float the elbows up. Exhale, sink into the front thigh. Squeeze those forearms. Make sure you're really using that back leg, not dumping into the front thigh. 1 more cycle of breath here. Inhale, open the arms wide. Let's reverse the warrior. And windmill the hands to the floor. Pause, lift the back heel. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Put a bend into the knee. Open the hip. Are you ready to flip it? You don't have to, but it's an option. Arm up and over. 5 cycles of breath. Or you can stay in 3-legged dog with the knee bent. Big toe of the left foot is pressing into the floor. Arms super strong. Chest lifting and opening to the sky. And inhale, top arm up. And then you've got the choice. Do you want the vinyasa? Roll over the toes, up dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, float the left leg straight back. Left knee, left elbow. Can you touch the elbow or lift it higher? 3-legged dog. Exhale to the right. Inhale, step it through. Pasva. Remember, if you're using your block, drop the back heel. Top arm up. Rotate the top palm back. Half bind. Roll and lift the right shoulder. Some of you are playing with that full bind. Maybe you can grab the wrist. Think about side plank here, lifting that side waist up. That's it. Sharpen the back leg. So you're leading from that back foot. Firm the left buttock in. And 1 more cycle of breath. And release. Top arm up. Oh, that's right. Some of us, we're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana with a half bind. Some of us are bringing the hand on the hip. So you choose. Slide the block forward. Inhale. Lift up. Exhale here. Have a look at the grounded foot. Often I see a lot of times when I'm teaching that foot turns and it's turning to a corner of your top edge of your mat. Stay right here. Sharpen the back leg. I know I need to bring that foot round so I can see it. I'm thinking about side plank and my side waist. And Japasana people, you know who you are. And heel to buttock. Or knee to chest. And press down. Now kick up. And that kick up with the hand, foot into the hand, helps you float that bottom hand off. Belly's nice and firm. How's the breath? And you're hugging that left hip in. And one more cycle of breath. Bottom hand down, top arm up, stepping back, warrior two. Inhale here, we're going to straighten the front leg. And right arm over left. I'm just going to spin around. Lovely transition. Right arm over left. And exhale, sink. 5 cycles of breath. Squeeze the forearms together. You want to feel like you're spreading across the back of your shoulder blades, like you're pulling them apart. Press your knee to the left as you hug that left buttock in. Sink a little lower. You can all go lower. And inhale, arms wide, reverse it, arm up. Or again, you could take that half bind here. Windmill the hands to the floor. Inhale, float the left leg. Who's going to flip the dog with me? Up and over. Remember, it's always an option. Everything's an option. Inhale, top arm up. Vinyasa or skip. Downward facing dog. Stay right where you are. If you need child's pose, take it. Now's a good opportunity to get into child's pose. If you need that little moment to yourself. But we're going to move from here, jumping up to our hands, our feet around the outside of our hands. You can walk your feet up if that feels better for today. We're jumping into Malasana, yogi squat. Inhale, we're going to start to open the hips by standing up, press into the feet. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, squeezing the air out of the belly. Last one. Pause. Reach the left hand out. So this is a half bind. And I'm just going to show you if you find the binding a little challenging. This is where the strap comes in really handy. Right arm up, rotate the palm back, reach for the opposite hip, and maybe you're going to use the strap here. And then lift that right shoulder. Now notice in this pose the tendency to drop into that left foot. So find even standing, stamas tahi. So press into the right foot, roll and lift that right shoulder. And if you've got the bind, clasping your hand around the wrist. Well done. And one more cycle of breath here, hugging the hips and squeezing your buttocks. And release. Left hand down, right arm up. And then other side. Reach the left hand. So the shoulder is in front of the knee. So it's all the way in front. Top arm up. So I'm not mirroring you in this one. And roll and lift. Take your mind's eye into the feet. Shift your weight into that left foot. And roll and lift that top shoulder. Even if it's just a tiny, tiny energetic movement. Focus the breath of the exhale into where it feels tight and release. Top arm up. Good. I'm just going to spin to the top of my mat. And we're going to stand all the way up. Inhale. Step the feet together. Exhale. Well done, yogis. Surya Namaskara A, starting with chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, reach the arms out, inhale, lift. Now look down, shift the weight into the heels so your toes lift off the floor. And just see if you can drop the hips. Imagine that you are physically going to sit on a chair. And then already I can feel my breath getting choppy because this is a really heated pose. And exhale, forward fold and bow. And empty the belly of breath. Half lift, breathe in. Step back into plank. Vinyasa or no vinyasa, you choose. Roll over toes, stay for a breath in up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left heel, foot out on an angle, step the right foot through. Warrior one, hug the right hip in, and then exhale, release. Reach your left arm forward, and now reach like you want to shake my hand, and then lift up. 3 cycles of breath. Sharpen that back leg. And ideally, we're trying to roll this left hip so both hips are facing forward, which is very challenging in itself. Good, 1 more cycle of breath. Inhale, top arm up, hands to the floor. Vinyasa or skip it, you choose. So you can make this slightly less challenging or energetic by skipping the vinyasas. And there's no shame in that. Inhale here, exhale, release. Now sharpen both arms, reach through the fingertips, sharpen your back leg, and then sink into the front thigh. Imagine I was sitting on that front thigh. So that front thigh is lowering down. The ribs are drawing in. Notice that tendency you want to arch the back. Hug the ribs in. Inhale, right arm up. Hands to the floor. Vinyasa or skip. 3 cycles of breath. And we're going to flow through this again, adding on each side. If this doesn't appeal, take a child's pose. Stay in down dog. You choose your practice. You are your best teacher. Inhale, come high on the tippy toes. Bend the knees. Step, walk or float. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, chair pose. I like to keep my fingers on the floor. Bend the knees. Now shift the weight back till the toes lift. Exhale, stand all the way up. Bring the energy back into the heart space. Good, let's go. Chair pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. I hope you've got some great tunes playing. I should say this at the beginning of class. I've got wonderful playlists on my Spotify. Right foot forward, warrior one. Squeeze and hug the right hip in. Exhale, sink. Good, hands behind the back. Roll the shoulders down. Lift your chest, stand into the back foot. Inhale here. Humble warrior, exhale. Some of you will feel better resting the rib on your right thigh. Some of you, I like to walk my right foot over and then drop that right shoulder inside your right knee and then hug the right hip in. Gravity is your best friend. Releasing the crown of the head towards the inside of the front foot. Crown of the head releasing down to the ground. Sharpen that back leg. I'm using that cue a lot today. A lot of work in the back leg. And then press into the back foot. So we inhale, rise, both arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Vinyasa or skip, you choose. Should have a nice amount of heat in your body here. Left foot forward. Back heel down, inhale, rise. Exhale, hands behind the back. Roll the hands inside the right thigh. Inhale, lift. Humble warrior. Maybe you need to find a little bit more space like I do by walking the left foot to the left. Hug and squeeze the right hip in. 3 cycles of breath. Try and find the pinky toe of your back foot. And notice you can look. When you press it down, the arch lifts up. Press into the back foot. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Vinyasa or skip. Downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath here. Walking the hands back towards the feet. So really this is the next pose. Grab the big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Some of you like to keep the elbows bent and elbows wide.
I like to hug my elbows in towards the shins. Drop the head. Now look all the way up between the thighs towards your belly button. You can let a nice big juicy sigh out here. Roll those inner thighs back and now lift your knees and your thighs up. And again, if the hamstrings are tight, bend your knees. Notice if you're sitting in the heels, shift the weight so you're even standing, Samastahi. And release your left big toe. Bring your left hand on your hip and bring your right elbow inside the right knee. Now some of you are just going to stand straight up and then draw the knee to the chest. Others who are working their bandhas, you're going to stand, squeeze the left hip in, inhale, lift all the way up. So we've got options here. You can keep the elbow on the in knee. A strap is a wonderful idea. So inhale here, lift the chest, and now exhale, extend. That's it. Now slide and hug that right hip back. Lift the chest, find a single point of focus, hugging the left hip in. Nice little bend into the knee. We don't like to hyperextend if we can help it. And opening the leg to the side. Lift the heel, exhale, open wide. 5 cycles of breath. This is wonderful for drawing the attention, your attention inward. A wonderful hip opener. And one more cycle of breath. Come back to center. Both arms up for 5. Point the toe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing splits all the way down. Hands to the floor. Left hand behind, forehead towards the shin. Maybe you want a little handstand kick just to play. Maybe not. I'm going to go for 3. And when you're ready, step the feet together. Grab the big toes, Padangusthasana, inhale, lift. Exhale, bend the elbows, drop the head. Look all the way up. Have a look at your knees, roll the inner thighs. And I'm going to hug my elbows in towards the shins. You can make this pose feel like child's pose, standing on your feet by really bending the knees and resting your ribs on the thighs. So some of you might want to try that and just see how it feels. Feels pretty good. And other side. So bring the left elbow on the inside, right hand to your hip. Shift the weight into the right foot. You can even come high on the toes of the left foot. And now inhale, lift. Exhale here. Beautiful. Inhale, extend. And again, if the leg doesn't fully straighten here, it's fine. It just means you've got a tight hamstring. Keep the knee bent. You can also take this pose to the wall, pressing your foot into the wall. And again, you could use the strap. But again, notice if the foot starts to turn. Two more cycles of breath. How's your balance? Inhale, lift. Exhale, open wide. 5 cycles of breath here. And if you need a wall to support you, support yourself. Remember, be kind to yourself with your thoughts and your actions. Come back to center. Both thumbs up. 5, 4, squeeze the muscles to the bone. 2, reach the fingertips. 3, draw the ribs in. 2, 1, standing splits. I don't even think I can count. Okay, so you can keep the hands on the floor, bend the knee. You can bring your right hand behind the right calf muscle, around the ankle, drawing the shin, the forehead to the shin, or kicking up with the opposite leg. It only needs to be a little hop. Step the feet together. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, come high on the toes. Squeeze the knees together. Lower all the way down. Bakasana, first one.
So for me, I'm bringing my knees into the armpits. Some of you might like squeezing the knees around the upper arm. So choose what feels good in your body. Shift the weight. Look down at the thumbs. Put one foot up and then the other. 5 cycles of breath. That's it. Last one here. And feet to the floor. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, standing all the way up. Samastahi. Step to the top of the mat. And step your feet apart. Hands on the hips. And squeeze your elbows like you'd love them to touch. So we open up across the collarbones, opening the chest. Spread your toes. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, hinge forward, halfway. Good, drop the hands to the floor. Press the right hand down. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, rotate and twist. And some of you might like to put a bend into your right knee if you need that. Have a look at your feet, and again, shift around on your feet. You're going to know if you're heavy in the heels because your butt is drawing back. So shift the weight forward. You might actually even need to step your hand forward. And just you want the chin directly over the grounded hand. Inhale, top arm up. Exhale, hand to the floor. Swap sides. Left hand down. Spin and rotate the chest. Half bind. And last cycle of breath. Inhale, top arm up. Exhale, hand down. Tripod headstand for a lot of you. I know a lot of you who practice with me like moving into tripod headstand. But if you don't, just bring the hands to the floor and hands at shoulder distance and just walk the hands back so they're in line with your feet. Drop the head so you're looking all the way up. And you're just going to stay there while the rest of us pop up. So off you go. And remember, you can take this pose to the wall. Two more cycles of breath. We're not going to stay here for long. Last one here. Start to split the legs, flex your feet, squeeze. Now hinge at the hips, bringing the legs down slowly and evenly. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Exhale, walk the feet in, about a third. Birds of paradise. So, inhale, we're going to lift and come up high on our right tippy toes on the right side. And now exhale, drop your right shoulder underneath and then reach. So again, if your work might be here, so it might be with the strap. If you can't take the full bind, you're going to just stay here and just play with trying to straighten that right leg and get the heel down. Okay? So that's your work. So you don't even need to think about the full expression of the pose. You're working your way towards it. Okay? And just make sure my headphone doesn't pull out like it did yesterday. And now we're going to walk the left foot in. Shift the weight. So the work we did earlier in Uhita Hasta Parahastasana in that L shape, this is where we've got that lift up. Squeeze the left hip in. Inhale, rise. Exhale here. So that was prepping us for this. Good. Some of us are staying here. This is a lot. Others, and this is a lot of hamstring work. Just lifting. Now spread the toes. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, and then just gently come down the same way you came up. Bend the knee, lowering the foot, release. Good, and then other side. Lift the left heel up. Drop the your left shoulder under. And walk the right foot in and pause. Drop the head. That's it. Hug the right hip in. Inhale, lift. Exhale here. Lift your chest, lift the head. And inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way down. Release. Turn to the top of the mat. Vinyasa or skip, you choose. It's nice to flush it through, just moving your energy, shifting your thoughts. Great time to take a child's pose if you want to take a little moment for yourself here. Otherwise, we're going to move from here. Inhale, float the right leg straight back. Knee to nose round and step it through. Good, both hands inside the right foot, walk the right foot to the right. So we're back in lizard pose. Now I'm going to ask you to drop your knee down. Some of you are going to stay in lizard pose and you just don't want to bind, so you can stay like this or drop the back knee. Okay, we're going to snuggle. We're going to bring the right forefinger and the thumb, I had to think about it then, and just place it around the back of the heel. And that allows you to snuggle that right shoulder into the back of the calf muscle and into the knee. Now, if you know you can take the full bind and lift up, then away you go. But for others, it's step by step. So maybe you're going to stay here. And if you're looking for that bind, strap or no strap, and then here. So lift up. Now hug. Hug the right hip in. Press the crown of the head forward, away from the heel of your back foot as you press the back heel back. Those bottom ribs feels a little like cat pose as you lift the ribs up and away from the floor. And 2 more cycles of breath wherever you are. And release. Come out the same way. Drop the knee down. Bring the hands out. Lift up. Good. Put a bend into the back knee. Some of you are just going to stay here. Again, a block here is a great idea. It just gives you that little bit more height so you can wimble the arm back, catch the foot. Heel to buttock. Some of you, this is enough. Some of you are going to come down onto an elbow. And some of you are going to drop the knee, drop the head so the chest lifts up towards the ceiling. Kick the foot into the hand. 5 more cycles of breath. This feels really good. If there's a lot of resistance in this pose, then just breathe in, just lean into it. If the knee is sore, come out. And remember, you can always double your mat over or put a blanket or a cushion under your knee. And release. Come up onto the hands. Walk your right foot over to the left. Single pigeon. This is a nice, juicy hip opener. Inhale, lift. So again, if this pose, for a lot of people that's too much in their knees, lift the chest. I actually like to put a block here, which presses into my shin, and then I lean my ribs into the block for that support. You can stack the hands. This feels lovely. And take your mind's eye into your left hip. If I was giving you an adjustment, I'd be gently pressing that left hip down. And stay here, 10 cycles of breath. Effortless ease. This belly is subtly drawing in
And you're hugging your right hip in and back as that left hip surrenders down. And then mind's eye in your back foot, spread the toes and press all 5 toenails into the mat. Three more cycles of breath, wherever you are. What's coming up? What are you telling yourself? Where's your focus? Inhale, come up onto the hands. Put a bend into the back knee. Windmill your left arm back. Exhale. Some of you might be able to hook the elbow around the back of the foot. And now look forward. I'm going to spin that back, the fingers forward, lift the chest. Feels like Sphinx pose in your chest. Last cycle of breath here. And release. Tuck the back toe under, lift up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip with the option to flip it all the way over. Nice thing to play with, maybe lifting that back foot off the floor. Just play with it. And vinyasa or skip. Up and back. Downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale. Float the left leg straight back. Step it through. Exhale. Drop the back knee down. Both hands inside the left foot. Walk the left foot over to the left. Good. Inhale here. Exhale. Come down onto the elbows, snuggling your forefinger thumb around the back of the heel. And that way you can snuggle the left shoulder in and now hug that left hip into the midline. Good. Some of you are staying here. Some of you are now reaching aeroplane arms. Pause. Start to lift the head, pressing the back of the left shoulder into the back of the calf muscle. Hands to bind. You can grab your strap here. Now, belly to spine. Inhale, lift. Press through the back heel. 5 cycles of breath. And this time you're rolling that right hip down and then lifting the bottom ribs up and away from the floor. And squeeze that straight leg. Lift the hamstring up towards the ceiling. Really, you're pressing through the heel and the big toe of your left foot. And one more cycle of breath. Release the hands, drop the knee. Inhale, both hands inside the foot. Right hand down, bend the back knee. Inhale, reach. And if you can't grab the foot, your strap will come in handy here. I haven't got a lasso, so I'm not going to play with that. Okay, you know what I mean, where I'm going. Hilarious. And then others coming down onto the elbow. Remember, you can double the mat over here, drop the knee out, and now drop the head back. And 5 cycles of breath. Where can you soften? Maybe it's the breath. Check in, how's your jaw, facial muscles? What's your body telling you? Sometimes feels like our body's screaming at us in some of these poses. And we really want to back off from that feeling. And release the back foot without slingshotting it. Both hands on the floor. Inhale, lift. And now exhale, walk your left foot over to the right.
single pigeon. I'm going to use the block again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So I'm stacking my fists together, and right where you are, take your mind's eye into your right hip. Press your right hip down towards your left heel. Spread the toes of your right foot, pressing all 5 toenails into the earth. And how's the neck? Roll the shoulders down and away from the ear. So you're creating space on both sides of the neck. Some of you might even want to massage the forehead if it's on the floor. But just take a moment and breathe into the third eye. This is where your intuition lives. Open the mouth, exhale. 3 more cycles of breath. Last one here. Inhale, come up onto the hands. Remove any blocks. Tuck the back toe under. 3-legged dog. Inhale, bend the knee, open the hip, flip your doggy all the way over, arm up and over. This feels fantastic. Maybe play with lifting that back foot off the floor. I'm going to move into our back bends from here. Top arm up, vinyasa, or skip it. Downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Hands underneath the forehead, resting the forehead gently down. Just wobble the hips. Start to press your pubic bone down and your hips down as you inhale, bend the knees. Press your pubic bone into the floor. Now inhale, you're going to lift keep your head on your forehead on your hands, and you're going to inhale, lift the thighs. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. This is wonderful for strengthening your lower back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Dan Urasana. Reach the right arm back. And then the left. Walk the knees back into the midline. Forehead to the floor. Pause. Soften the shoulders. Inhale. Lift your knees and your thighs. Exhale here. Outer knees draw in. Inhale, lift the chest. 5 cycles of breath. So we've got the option to roll onto the shoulders. Keep kicking your feet up and then back. Notice your neck. Are you lengthening forward with the chin? Soften it so the neck lengthens. Inhale, rolling onto the right shoulder. So we prep this pose right at the beginning of class. Keep the shape, kicking the feet into the hands, hands into the feet. And come back to center. Inhale. Exhale here. And then other side. You might get a little momentum. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Release. Let's take a child's pose. Up and back. Release. Stretching your lower back. Forehead to the floor. Inhale, walking the hands back. Then we're going to come and lie all the way down on our back. Drop the hips to the side. Ready for bridge pose. Option, Urdhva Some of you dream of Urdhva I have to admit it's a pose that I'm very fond of because it just brings so much buoyancy and uplift. Gives me lots of energy, especially when I'm feeling lethargic and a bit sluggish. Robot arms to start. Now snuggle your elbows in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, squeeze your outer knees in. Some of you are going to grab the edges of the mat. Some of you are rolling the shoulders under, clasping the hands. 5 cycles of breath. If you want to spice it up, you can lift one leg, you can bend the knee. Just play, see what feels good. I'm just staying here. There's always lots of options. I'm just going to do this because I did it on the first side, just to balance. Inhale here. Release the hands, exhale, lower. So option 1, you're going to take the same pose again. Option 2, if you want something more restorative, you're going to slide a block underneath. Option 3, we're only doing one Urdhva today. And should we do 2? 1 or 2? Let's do 2 because actually the first one quite often feels a little sticky. So fingers facing in, that's why we spun the fingers towards the knees right at the beginning of class. If you find it challenging to get up, a lot of people feel that it's easier, take the feet as wide as the mat. Squeeze your elbows in, inhale, lift the hips. Exhale here. Inhale, crown of head. I like to reset my hands, squeeze the elbows, and stay here. Drop the head, look down at your thumbs. Bend your knees. And tuck the chin to the chest. Exhale, lift the heels, lowering all the way down. If you don't want to go again, grab a block, take restorative. Otherwise, let's go. Fingers facing in towards your shoulders. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, lift. Exhale here, lifting. Resetting. Press through the big toes. Some of you might want to come high on your tippy toes. Squeeze the outer knees in. Inner thighs are rolling down. Breathe into your big, beautiful heart. Chin to chest. Exhale. Lower. How is that? Fantastic. Okay. Right leg over left. Shuffle your hips to the right. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, knees all the way over to the left. That's it. Just have to be careful. Yesterday I filmed the class and the mic pulled out, and by the time I got to the end of it, I had no sound. It was very annoying. So I'm quite conscious of it today. So we've got our legs in eagle leg pose, Garudasana, because earlier in Warrior 2 we had our arms. So we just think of this like completing Garudasana. Some of you like to snuggle the knees up towards your elbows, spin the chest, look all the way to the right. Close your eyes and just allow yourself to go deep. Giving you a nice massage here to your abdominals. Neutralizing, more importantly, neutralizing the spine after the back bends. Inhale, lift the knees up. Exhale, release. Shuffle the hips to the center. Left leg over right. Inhale, hips to the left. Draw the knees in. Exhale, all the way to the right. Inhale, spin. You can, if there's pain in the neck, look straight up. Otherwise, looking all the way back to the left. 5 cycles of breath. Squeeze your thighs together and then release. Make sure there's a smile in the corner of your lips and your eyes. We're nearly home. You've done a great job.
Really, I always think of the hardest part of the whole class is actually carving out the time to get to the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release. We're going to rock ourselves all the way up. So hands on the back of the thighs, rock and roll 5 times. Again, this is wonderful for spinal health. Some of you might want to touch the toes over the back of the head. 2 more. And lifting all the way up into seated pose. Dandasana. So we're going to finish with a couple of twists. So notice again that tendency to lean forward. Imagine that you're leaning into a wall. Press the hands down and now lift the chest. Hug the ribs in. Roll those inner thighs back as you pull your feet, your toes back. Good. Inhale, lift both arms up. Paschimottanasana, forward fold and bow. 5 cycles of breath. I like to use a block here. If you've got that flexibility in your hamstrings, this always feels wonderful. And again, it's something to notice your progress as the body unfolds gradually. Always remember that, yoga is a practice of a lifetime. So just keep showing up and the yoga will take care of the rest. 1 more cycle of breath here. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting all the way up. I'm going to bend, put both hands underneath your right knee. Hands around the shin, and now we're drawing your right heel back towards the buttock. Good. Right hand on the inside, so the shoulder. Left hand behind the left buttock. I'm coming up high on the fingertips of the back. My left hand flexing the left foot. Inhale, lift. So lifting up to find space in the sideways. And now exhale, hinge forward. Some people even like to lift their sit bones, rotate the palm, and there's your half bind. Inhale, left hand out. Exhale, find the bind. Again, you can find your strap here. And I should have mentioned that there should be a space between your right inner ankle and your left thigh of about a fist. Good, and now inhale, lift the chest, and you're surrendering and bowing down. 5 cycles of breath, wherever you are. Remember, you can use the strap here if you're not quite taking the full bind, and you can just grab your yoga leggings or your top. And 1 more cycle of breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Hands on the shins. Stepping your right foot over the left. Some of us are going to keep that left leg straight. If your body is a little tighter, this definitely feels more available. Otherwise, you're going to swing that left leg back and now press that right hip bone down. You want both sit bones into the floor, and if this one is pulling up, straighten this leg. And then this fully allows that down. Okay, right hand behind the right sit bone. Inhale, lift up. So again, we're creating space in the waist. Inhale here. Exhale, twist. So we've got options with the twist. Inhale here. Exhale, rotate. You're looking back over the shoulder. Roll that right shoulder down. Option 1. Option 2, take the left hand down to your left ankle. And then option 3, some of us are going to play with the bind, threading the hand all the way through. Inhale here, rotate the palm. Exhale here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate. And then work the feet. Press your side of the foot in.
the foot flat into the floor to press down so you can lift and elevate through the crown of the head. Keep rotating on the exhale. Notice the jaw. I often need to wriggle my jaw when I'm in these twists. Just soften, backing off a little bit. Inhale, come back to center. And release. Both legs out in front. Forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Three more cycles of breath here. Remember, you got the block. You want to play with it. And if your hamstrings are tight, bend the knees, snuggle the ribs onto the thighs, drop the head. Same pose, different options. And you get all the same benefits. So very grounding, the forward folds, because you're turning your attention into internally and into the midline. And inhale, lifting all the way up. Exhale here. Both hands underneath the left knee. Here's the fist. So I like to do that when I practice. Fist between the inner ankle and your right thigh. Hug the left knee in, right hand behind. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, hinge forward, half bind or full bind. Inhale, lift the chest. Now look at that right foot, flex the foot, press the hamstring down. Exhale, forward fold. 5 cycles of breath. And just notice if that left foot is crept all the way in to the right thigh. Just keep that space there. Last cycle of breath. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Exhale, release. Snuggle and squeeze that left foot over the right. Option 1, keep the right leg straight and flex the foot. Option 2, I'm just going to turn my back so you can see the bind. So left hand behind the left. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, I'm threading the hand through. Inhale here. Exhale here. I'm now pressing down into the feet to inhale, spreading across my collarbones. Exhale. 5 cycles of breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. It's so nice to have these. You know, this is a normal length of a yoga class, but you know, what's happened is people don't have enough time to practice. So, you know, practicing for an hour has become just normal, and that's fine. But I really like to get this full body practice and have this, you know, gift of self-care is such a treat. Inhale, come back to center. All right. Ready? Savasana. Most important pose. Actually, why don't we take a happy baby? I know a lot of you will be thinking, I haven't had my happy baby. Knees down. That's it. Maybe rock side to side. No class is complete without a happy baby. Or take whatever pose you need. You might want to take plow pose here. It's another nice pose for stretching the lower back. Maybe V shape. And when you're ready, feet on the floor. Pause, let the knees drop in. And extend the right leg straight. Feet as wide as the mat. Roll and shuffle your shoulders under Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. So you're in a position of receiving. Lower your tailbone down towards your feet. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a big sigh out. Receive your practice and all the benefits. Let go of the breath and return to normal, shallow breathing. If you want to stay in Savasana, please honor your practice. Otherwise, subtle movement in the fingers and the toes. Landing in the body, inhaling, lifting your arms up and over the head, taking a full body stretch as though you're landing in it for the very first time today. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, stick out the tongue, lion's breath. Draw the knees into the chest. Lift the knees to the nose, squeeze it all in. And then lengthening your arm out, rolling on to your right side. Pressing down through your hands, bringing yourself all the way up and coming into a cross-seated position, Sukhasana, easy seat. Palms facing up towards the ceiling and just gently close the eyes down. And just take a moment to reflect on how you feel now to how you felt at the beginning of the class. Energetically, physically, emotionally. And then just seal it all in with gratitude, drawing the thumbs into the sternum, bowing the chin to the chest. Taking the prayer to the third eye for quality of thought, to the lips for quality of speech, and back to the heart for quality of life. Shining the light of your yoga on what you think, what you say, and what you do. It's been an honor and a privilege. Humbly bow.
Namaste.
Well done, yogis. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave feedback. All donations greatly appreciated. My Venmo and PayPal details are in the description of this class. Thanks for practicing with me. See you soon.